Welcome back to Navigating the Streams. I'm Mike DeLong, and I've got all the new movies coming to your streaming services in one place so you don't have to. I've got what's coming out this month, which includes a lot of World Cup documentaries, and a look back to see what I missed in May. Without further ado, let's see what's new in June. First up is Netflix. On the 3rd, David comes out. It's an animated telling of the biblical figure's life from young shepherd to king of Israel. On the 4th, the Indian comedy Ma Bahen comes out. When a family of women find a dead body in their kitchen, they decide to cover it up. Also on the 4th, Poldi. It's a documentary about the German soccer player Lukas Podolski. And finally on the 4th, The Murder of Rachel Nicholl. It's a documentary about the 1992 UK murder, which is the subject of a new Netflix show called The Witness, opening the same day. On the 5th, Mexico 86. It's a comedy from Mexico about how they became the unlikely pick to host the 86 World Cup and how they pulled it off, starring Diego Luna. Also on the 5th, the generically named rom-com Office Romance comes out. J-Lo plays the CEO of a company with a strict non-fraternization policy, but when a new lawyer played by Brett Goldstein comes to the company, it gets complicated. And one more for the 5th, The Marked Woman. It's a Spanish thriller where, after an attempted murder, detectives investigate how a woman was found unconscious in a shipping crate. On the 7th, we have a movie I believe we mentioned last month, USA 94, Brazil's Return to Glory. It's a World Cup documentary about the 1994 World Cup with never-before-seen player interviews and footage. On the 9th, we have another World Cup documentary. This one is called Norway, the Dark Horse. On the 10th, a Polish thriller called The Colors of Evil comes out. When a young boy goes missing, an investigator discovers links to old missing persons cases. On the 11th, Double Happiness comes out. It's a Taiwanese dramedy where a groom must pull off 2 weddings so his divorced parents don't need to be in the same room. On the 12th, we have a bit of a surprise for me. I Am Frankelda. It's a Del Toro animation where a 19th century writer journeys into her subconscious to face the monsters she's written about. Also on the 12th, Maternal Instinct. It's a true crime documentary where a woman fakes her pregnancy to keep her boyfriend from leaving. On the 13th, we have a surprise Best Actress nominee, Song Sung Blue. It's a musical biopic of Thunder and Lightning, a husband and wife Neil Diamond tribute act, seeing life through success and heartbreak. On the 17th, Andre is an Idiot comes out. It's a docu-comedy where a man determines to maintain his sense of humor and die happy after he receives a terminal cancer diagnosis. On the 19th, the drama Color Book comes out. A man must adjust to being a widower while raising his son with Down syndrome, deciding to take him to his first baseball game. Also on the 19th, Voicemails for Isabel. This is a rom-com about a woman who leaves messages about her chaotic life on her dead sister's voicemail, but a man in Austin begins receiving them. Doesn't sound at all creepy. On the 23rd, we have a comedy special from Ryan Hamilton called Just Hit Me. And on the 24th, In the Hand of Dante. It's a crime drama where a mob boss steals a handwritten manuscript of Dante's The Divine Comedy. On the 26th, Little Brother comes out. It's a comedy where a real estate agent's life is disrupted after his little brother comes back into his life. And finally, on the 26th, Chris and Martina, The Final Set. It's a documentary where Chris Everett and Martina Navratilova discuss their rise in tennis, rivalry, friendship, and support of each other through cancer. A few recommendations coming out on Netflix this month: Poor Things, Lanthimos and Stone Together Again, Miracle, always going to recommend a hockey movie, and Pitch Black. I kind of enjoyed this 2000 Vin Diesel sci-fi movie. I did miss a few things that came out on Netflix in May. Drew Duruha Saacha Ayathil, an Indian drama. Durandhar the Revenge, a spy thriller that I believe had a good box office this year. Amy Martinez, The Kid Who Stops Time, yet another soccer documentary. And Food Truck, Stolen Love and Moo Dang. Looks like a comedy from Thailand. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe. Share it on your socials so your friends don't miss out on any new movies. Next up is Hulu. On the 4th, Jimpa comes out. It's a drama where a woman must confront past issues and challenge her parenting beliefs when her non-binary child wants to spend a year with their gay grandfather in a different country. On the 5th, a comedy special from Hannah Berner called None of My Business comes out. Also on the 5th, the horror movie Keeper. A romantic anniversary trip turns sinister as the couple must confront the property's past. On the 13th, the horror thriller The Home comes out. Pete Davidson plays Max, a new employee at a retirement home where he finds that everyone is hiding sinister secrets. This one was also supposed to come out last month, but was delayed for some reason. On the 17th, the comedy Never Change comes out. Men and women in their 30s return to high school to earn their diplomas because a tornado ended their senior year in 2005. Things pick up right where they left off, while revealing hidden truths. On the 25th, the thriller Where Pretty Girls Die comes out. A crime club investigating a cold case makes themselves the new targets of a predator looking for victims. And finally, on the 26th, the horror comedy Queens of the Dead comes out. George A. Romero's daughter Tina brings the zombie genre to the club, where drag queens and club kids unite to battle the undead. I got some recommendations coming to Hulu this month. Eddie Izzard, Glorious, and Dressed to Kill. I'll also be catching up with Wunderbar, which I haven't seen, but have been meaning to for a while. And though I can't recommend these specials specifically because I haven't seen them, Maria Bamford has some comedy specials coming out from the last few years, and I definitely recommend her. She's hilarious. One thing on Hulu missed my radar in May, the thriller from earlier this year that I recommend, Send Help. HBOMax is next. On the 5th, Pillion comes out. It's a dark comedy psychological thriller where a directionless man is swept off his feet when a biker takes him as his submissive. On the 7th, Earth, Wind, and Fire, To Be Celestial versus That's the Way to the World comes out. It's another Questlove music documentary, this one about Earth, Wind, and Fire with access to the band's archives. On the 26th, we have the horror movie Undertone. The host of a paranormal podcast is haunted by terrifying recordings she's received. And finally, on the 30th, the documentary Bang My Box, The Robin Bird Story comes out. Robin Bird looks back at her life as a sex-positive cable access host who accidentally became a lifeline during the AIDS era. 2 quick recommendations on HBO Max. First, A History of Violence from 2005. A small-town man's past catches up with him. And one you've probably never heard of, I Am a Fugitive from a Chain Gang. Nominated for Best Picture and Best Oscar, a 1930s gem where a man gets punished for a crime he didn't commit. I missed a movie that came out on HBO Max late last month, The Bride. Maggie Gyllenhaal's take on The Bride of Frankenstein, which I've received mixed reviews on, but I'll check it out. Next up is Prime. On the 5th, The Pout Pout Fish comes out. It's an animated movie where a sad fish and a seahorse go on an impossible journey to save their home. On the 17th, Your Fault London comes out. It's a drama where 2 step-siblings in love have a hard time hanging on to their relationship as they make different choices and meet new people. I don't know who's watching these fault movies, but there's a ton of them. And finally, on the 19th, the SpongeBob movie, The Search for SquarePants, comes out. SpongeBob tries to prove his bravery by following the Flying Dutchman into the ocean depths. Some Prime recommendations. 12 Angry Men is always a good watch. A Bridge Too Far is a 3-hour movie about Operation Market Garden, which you may remember from A Band of Brothers. The entire Bill and Ted trilogy is coming out, but the first one is most excellent. And a movie I have recommended to many people, Guns Akimbo. It's a hilarious action comedy with Daniel Radcliffe with guns bolted to his hands. It's amazing. We've got one quick thing from Peacock this month. On the 26th, the thriller Strung comes out. A talented violinist is tutoring a young girl from a wealthy family, but the job becomes a battle for safety and sanity when secrets are revealed. We don't have anything new on Paramount Plus coming out this month, but after my last streaming video, Scream 7 was announced and came out late last month. And finally, we have Disney Plus. On the 24th, Avatar Fire and Ash comes out. The family deals with grief and the Ash people, aggressive tribe of the Na'vi, while the battle with people from the last two movies continues. I will definitely be skipping this one because it's a snooze fest for me. That's all we have for this month. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this streaming video. There's not much that interests me coming out this month. Hopefully, you'll find something you enjoy. My next video will be a review roundup of everything I watched in May. Thanks, and I'll see you again soon.